Oh, you gotta call the meeting to order. You gotta call the meeting to order.
Wednesday, March 11th, 2026. I'll now call the meeting to order and ask that you join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adoption of current agenda. Yes.
There's quite a few changes evidently that I think need to take place. The first one is that item number 3 needs to be moved from consent to regular business. And then I believe that before we got to item 12, that we'd need an executive session, and then we were going to pull item number 13 as well. So, Council Briggs, I was going to ask your question here for the consent agenda. I know it's on consent, but how should we do that?
I mean, we could do a motion to amend the agenda and remove those items. Maybe we do an executive session first, so we amend the agenda, add an executive session, discuss, and then decide, outside of the executive session whether or not we want to pull it.
I think that's the best thing.
So go to executive session immediately?
It'd be my advice to go to executive session, yes,
Okay.
for
4230-110-1I litigation.
for approximately 20 minutes.
And this would be for item number 12,
This is just in general.
in general, okay.
So, Mr. Chairman, I would move that we amend our agenda in front of us to move item number 3 to regular business, and that we would add an executive session immediately following public comment.
I second.
Been a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Public comment. Is there anyone in the room for public comment? If so, please come forward, state your name, and you have 3 minutes.
Shirley Jones. Item number 3 will need to be an open public hearing. It's been advertised as such, so it will be an open public hearing when you move it to regular business.
Anyone else in the room for public for public comment?
Brian Thornhill. So again, just like last time, this is pretty tough for me to be up here. I can go into fires and everything and not be nervous, but this just dealing with this issue, and with my past commissioners, they talked about grace and everything, and I appreciate 3 gentlemen up on this board, and I really appreciate them. So this is very tough for me to do. And if there's any way that we could figure out to get this done, meet and get this done and just get it over with, I'd prefer that. So this will be, if you guys want to meet, because I am going to follow through, and I've got some pretty harsh things to say. And I'm not trying to put you in a bind or anything. I don't want to go through with this. I want to get this done and make it easy. Just take it off everybody's. But it has to be two-sided. It can't be one-sided. That's what I'm asking for. Discuss it, get it over and done with. So if you guys can do that, and again, I don't have the fire district to worry about now, about commissioners and things like that. So now it's going against me, or it's my issue. So if we can just, again, my past commissioners, and I met with one of them, they prayed for me for this situation. I want to honor that. So again, I have some pretty harsh stuff to say. And again, it's not a threat. It is what I feel is fact. If we can meet, and I'll meet with anyone just to get this done, but it has to be somebody that's arbitrary, that's not going to have a fight in it. They just want to make sure things are right. That's what I want to do on this issue as of this point. I appreciate your family very much. I appreciate everything that when you talk about things and listen to things, then it comes from where I believe it should. I can't put it into words, but I believe you listen and try and do the right thing. I think there's some other issues, and I can be harsh again. I'll just stay away from that. And then I appreciate Mr. Briggs very much as well. And I just feel like I'm putting everybody in a bad position that I don't want to go there anymore. So if we could meet, get this over and done with, and I'll wait for you guys to get back in touch with me. I'm not going to be here for the next section of the meeting. I can't be here, but if you can get in touch with me, I'd appreciate that. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Anyone else in the room for public comment? Is there anyone on the phone? All right, hearing, seeing none. Executive session. Who do you want inside and for how many minutes?
It'd be myself, the board, the clerk of the board, and Administrator Danzel.
All right.
So,
For
Mr. Chairman, I
approximately
would
20 minutes.
move that we would go into executive session under 4230-110-1I for 20 minutes.
So at this point, it is 9:07. We'll go into executive session for approximately 20 minutes. We'll be back at 9:27. Thank you. We've come out of executive session with no decisions being made. We're going to extend back into executive session for approximately 20 minutes
Yeah, let's bring in corrections.
under the same RCW code.
But
But
corrections will be.
yes, we would add
Corrections will
who
join.
specifically is coming. Okay, Chief Harmon and Captain Jansky will also be joining.
Mic's off.
We want to extend for another 20 minutes?
Yeah, that's fine.
We've come out of executive session. We are going to go back into executive session for another additional 20 minutes under the same RCW code and the same people present.
Bless you.
We've come out of executive session with no decisions being made. We are going to go back into executive session for another 20 minutes under the same RCW code and the same attendees. Thank you.
Teresa. That was quick.
I was just right outside the door waiting for you. Mics are on.
We've come out of executive session, with no decisions being made. We're going back into executive session for 5 minutes. Under
Same
the
RCW?
RCW code, same staff plus Amanda.
Good morning.
Yeah. We've come out of executive session. We are going to go back into executive session for 5 more minutes under the same RCW code and the same attendees. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda.
So Clint, you wanted to pull item number 9?
Yeah. You gonna make the motion?
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
3 goes to open public meeting, 9, 12, and 13.
So we've come out of executive session. Moving on, is there any corrections to the agenda?
There is, Mr. Chairman. I would move that we amend our agenda in a couple of ways. I would like to ask that we pull item number 9 from consent, that we add a potential action item to regular business, and that action item, let me back up. So pull item number 9 from consent, pull item number 12 from consent, and move it to next week to be on the agenda for next week, and then to add a potential action item to regular business, and that potential action item would be a resolution to amend the Superior Court's budget with an increase of $700,000 for juvenile services. And then to pull item number 13 as well from consent.
He already went over that. I second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
If I could interject something, Board. Thank you, Chair. Item 3, I believe, needs to be on regular business because it's a hearing.
We already did that.
Oh, we did that? Okay,
Yeah,
sorry
we
about
already
that.
did that.
That goes to regular business.
So then,
So, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve consent items 1, 2, 4 through 8, 10, 11, 14, and 15.
second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Regular business.
So, Mr. Chairman, that would be item number 3 from consent that we moved to regular business. The approval of a domestic water system franchise agreement. I believe that that is an open public hearing.
If
Yes,
it's closed record hearing.
open public hearing. Is closed. No, that's for Wes. That's for the agreement here.
Okay.
So item number 3 in the packet.
At this point, we will have an open public meeting. We'll now open the open public meeting on Resolution 2026-096, Public Works. Approval of domestic water system franchise agreement with Richview Water Company.
So I would add something there, Board, if I may, Chair. Because it's a public hearing, the principal difference between a hearing and a public meeting is that the members of the public can come up and comment on the proposal if there are any members.
All right, thank you. Have you had any ex parte communication you need to disclose involving this matter, or any reason to recuse yourself from the
Those are the
proceedings?
closed records.
I would ask for maybe a staff report from Shirley, if you wouldn't mind giving that real quick. And then it'll be in form of a motion for the resolution. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, seeking approval for a domestic water system with the Richview Water Company.
Did we take care of Public Works approval of domestic water system franchise agreement with Richview?
That's what we're going
That's
over
what
right
this
now.
is.
We
Yeah.
move that to regular business as an open public hearing.
And we've asked the public to comment. Nobody came forward, so we're going through it right now to discuss it.
Okay.
So pertaining to the approval of a domestic water system franchise agreement with Richview Water Company, I am going to abstain, recuse myself.
So with that, is there anything outside of the anything new that we need to know about?
No.
With that, Mr. Commissioner, I would entertain a motion on this. Actually, we need to, you've opened this as a public hearing. Is there anybody else from the public that would like to comment on this? Seeing no one, Mr. Commissioner, I would entertain a motion for item number 3 on our consent that was moved to regular business.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we approve Resolution 2026-096, Public Works Approval of Domestic Water System Franchise Agreement with Richview Water Company.
With that, I have no ex parte communication and no reason to recuse myself. Do you have any?
No, I have none.
Okay, as the chairman of the board has recused himself as the chair pro tem, we just got a motion to approve item number 2026-096, the approval of a domestic water system franchise agreement with the Richview Water System. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And with that, I will close this open public hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we'll go to the closed record hearings.
Yeah, it is exactly the same. So again, I'm going to recuse myself from Resolution 2026-109, closed record public hearing.
Okay, we have before that, we added to regular business, resolution to amend the agenda, or amend the budget for Superior Court. I guess we wasn't clear whether we put that at the top or the bottom, so for clarity's sake, I'm going to say that the additional business would be at the bottom of regular business, so the potential action item for amending the Superior Court's budget will be the last item, or it will be item number C on regular business. And so with that, I will open a closed record hearing for Resolution 2026-109, a conditional use permit or a CUP application to expand and reauthorize the Richview Water System. That is file number CUP 2025-12/SEPA 2025-25. And with that, Mr. McCartan, would you please give us your presentation?
Mr. Commissioner, I'm here just to answer questions if you have any. You should just go ahead and proceed.
Mr. Commissioner?
No questions.
I have no question. I'll just say that I appreciate the thoroughness of the report that we have in front of us, and turned over to that. And so,
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Commissioner, if I can interrupt you, you
Yes,
do
sir.
need to make the disclosure about no ex parte communication also.
okay,
And
so,
if there's any reason for either one of you to recuse.
okay, so the chairman has recused himself. I have no reason, I have not had any ex parte communication and have no reason, as far as I'm aware, to recuse myself.
I
Sir,
have no ex parte communication.
is there any member of the public that wishes to ask that Commissioner Didier or myself recuse ourselves from this action? Seeing nobody coming forward and having no further questions for you, Mr.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we pass Resolution 2026-109, a conditional use permit application to expand and reauthorize the Rich View Water System. File number CUP 2025-12/SEPA 2025-25.
I'll second that motion. Any further discussion or questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Mr. McCart. And with that, I will close this closed record hearing on, let me get to it here so I can state it correctly. So with that, the resolution 2026-109 conditional use permit is approved, and I will close the closed record hearing on that. So, Mr. Chairman, I will turn that back over to you for item B on regular business.
Resolution 2026-110, a conditional use permit application to construct an above-ground cemetery at the St. Paul, the Apostle Catholic Church, file number CUP 2025-13.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
on this hearing, I am a member of this Catholic Church. I've had ex parte communication with the gentleman that is in charge of putting this into place. I have met with him. I have donated my services to prepare the ground for this. So I would leave it up to anybody in the public, if they feel that I am not worthy to vote on this, to please ask me to recuse myself, and I will.
Hearing, seeing none, moving on to as any of the other commissioners have any ex parte communication need to disclose involving this matter or any reason to recuse yourself from these proceedings?
I have no reason to recuse myself.
I have no reason to recuse myself. Have you reviewed the entire record?
I have.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Are there any questions before we start?
There is not.
Is there any discussion? If there's no discussion, I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move for approval of Resolution 2026-110, a conditional use permit, an application to construct an above-ground cemetery at the St. Paul's the Episcopal Catholic Church, file number CUP 2025-13, as presented.
Can you repeat the resolution number?
Resolution 2026-110.
That's different from what I have. Is that correct in your assessment?
I would ask the clerk that question.
Can you tell us the resolution that he has and that I have are two different resolutions? I have 2026-110.
I have 109.
So he should.
Okay, all right. Thank you for that clarification. That is the correct.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. The motion passes unanimously.
Strike the gavel.
The hearing is now closed.
Thank you, Mr. McCart.
C. Yes.
I believe that takes us to the newly approved item C, which was a resolution that for budgetary purposes.
So the amendment to the Superior Court's budget.
Yes.
Do you have that resolution? So, Mr. Chairman, item number C that we amended to add to regular business. I would move to approve Resolution 2026-111, a budget transfer to the Bi-County Superior Court for juvenile services in the amount of $700,000.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Commissioner Administrator updates. Mr. Danson.
I'll keep mine quite brief. I've been quite ill lately, so work with a myriad of elected officials and department heads, Council Briggs, Council Lloyd, just everybody in the management team to try to pick up for where I wasn't able to do anything. A huge thank you to Teresa Alvarez, our clerk of the board, for being able to put this meeting together. But anyway, yeah, it's going to be a short one for me because I was, as you gentlemen know, very sick.
Thank you, Mr. Danzel. Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry. Commissioner Bauman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A fairly brief report. Had WASAC meetings, teams meetings with our State Association of Counties, had a Ben Franklin Transit Executive Board meeting, and then staff at Ben Franklin Transit asked me to be a part of a interview with one of our local media stations, and the question was about the security that transit has recently implemented with that. And so the reason I wanted to share just a little bit is there was a juvenile that on one of the buses that had asked one of the drivers for a piece of paper, and that on that piece of paper the adolescent wrote out that they were being trafficked and that they needed help. And so the juvenile wrote that out on a piece of paper and gave that to one of the security guards that happened to be riding that bus. And then, along with one of our law enforcement partners at the transit, was able to get that juvenile help, and was just really thankful that that opportunity came together for that bad situation that had a opportunity for a good outcome. So just wanted to report that. And Mr. Chairman, I'll leave that as my report.
Thank you. Commissioner Didier.
Yes, not much to report on myself because end of 1 month, start of the next, but I want to tell Mr. Danzel, thank you very much. I know he was sick, and instead of getting together with me and spreading germs, we did it over the phone, but thank you for the agenda meeting. A lot of phone calls on taxes. People are very upset with the taxes that are being applied to their property and to the state putting down on us. They're trying to tax us out of business. And then on the roads, farm equipment is traveling right now on the roads. Please drive with caution, drive with safety, because these implements can only go so fast until we get our pullouts. Hopefully we're going to start putting some pullouts on these roads so the equipment can get off the road and traffic can continue on. But farmers, if you've got more than, 5 vehicles behind you or 6 vehicles, you are instructed to pull over. Please pull over and let the cars go by before you proceed. let's work together so we keep the roads safe. Thank you. That's the end of my report.
All right. So this last week had, of course, the agenda meeting with Mr. Danzel. Also had the local emergency management meeting. Also had Greater Columbia Behavioral Health meeting with some concerns over their budget. And I just want to say, with everything that's going on with the House bill, according to the elected sheriffs, you know, voting is your constitutional right, and the way you vote has implications. I would encourage everyone to vote. As my fellow commissioner said, people are complaining about the property taxes. I just want to reiterate the issue that of your property taxes, the county, for the running of the county government and your roads, we take 9 cents out of every dollar. The rest are voter approved. So again, when only 1/3 of the people vote, your vote is actually worth 3 votes if you go vote, because of the lack of people turning out to vote. And as you can see, what's going on in Olympia now should really concern you as far as your elected sheriff. That should be a local decision, and it's your right to vote these people in, and we shouldn't be under the constraints of unelected officials determining who can be our representative as a local sheriff. I just want to say that, you know, during COVID, our sheriff stood up for our rights, and he needs to be commended for that. And this new bill, if they do pass it, I think will carry some serious complications if it is passed. So I just want to point that out. So please vote, and you know, vote to your best decisions. I'm not trying to tell people how to vote. I'm just asking that you do vote, so we have a better representation of our people here in Franklin County. Thank you. That ends my report. Now moving on to correspondence. Mr. Danzel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And actually, I'll be looking for some direction from you gentlemen on this one. You have a petition for redress of grievances. I think each of you got a certified copy of that delivered to you. My question is, because this is going to maybe get a little bit out of control here eventually, like with emails, with little letters or notes that are asked to be passed along, where do we draw the line on correspondence? My idea would be, like, correspondence would be from other agencies, departments within and the county. If there's a group of constituents that get together and sign a petition, or a neighborhood organization that sends in a letter, definitely that would qualify. But I don't know how you want me to be handling these. So if I could get maybe at the end of this direction on what you'd like me to do there. The second one that I have to pass down is a request from the prosecuting attorney's office. This was talked about previously, and the position approved. Jeff could probably talk to this better than I could.
Yeah, essentially what happened here was we had approval last week to fill, it's our front office person who comes in and greets people when they come in and answers calls and assists staff when there's sort of downtime. But this person, in our letter last week, we had asked to fill our temporary position with a full-time staff member in that role. And so that was approved. And then when we offered the full-time position, this person declined that. I believe they might be going to law school soon. But in any event, whatever they're trying to do, we still need to fill that position. And now this person is going to be leaving, I think, April 17th or so. So we're just asking for authorization so it's crystal clear that we can fill this position. Yep,
Well, we already approved it, so yes.
Do you just need a consensus?
correct, yes.
I'm in favor of that.
In favor. Did you need
Finally, gentlemen,
consensus from another? Did you give consensus or? Yes, okay, all right. Thank you.
And then this is from the bench, the Superior Court bench. You gentlemen should have a copy of that. And they should do it on correspondence for this week. You will be getting some correspondence next week from Judge, it'll be coming from the District Court Judge Orozco regarding the need, and it'll kind of tie in to the other requests that have been asked for regarding space and courtroom space and so on and so forth. So just wanted to prime you for that. When I know more, you'll know more about that request, but I did get that last, I believe it was yesterday, so. That's the correspondence that I have.
All right, thank you. We'll now move to public comment. Is there anyone in the room for public comment? If so, please come forward, state your name, and you have 3 minutes. Is there anyone on the phone? Hearing, seeing none, we will move on to, is there a need for executive session?
No, I think we covered it.
Got them covered? All right. Is there any other business for the good of the county?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Yes, on this special day, I'd just like to wish our fellow commissioner a happy birthday and thank him for being a commissioner and doing the good work for the county. Mr. Bauman, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, sir.
No. Move for adjournment of this meeting, Mr. Chairman.
All right, with no other business for the good of the county, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Wait till those cameras go off.